At the time of making this video, the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary is about to happen or has already happened. There's a big chance that Kingdom Hearts 4 or a big spin-off game will probably be announced at the event, so I figured now would be a good time to kind of catch people up on the series. Now, contrary to popular belief, Kingdom Hearts isn't actually that complicated plot-wise, but there is a lot of details in between each game that make the series more complex than it really is. It doesn't help the fact that Kingdom Hearts is also comprised of like 13 games, and most of the summaries that you see are like over 10 minutes to even an hour long. So I decided to challenge myself and summarize the entirety of Kingdom Hearts in less than 5 minutes. Now obviously this is going to go over everything, and I'm definitely going to be glossing over a lot of things, but this summary should be enough to catch anyone up who is interested or has lost track after Kingdom Hearts 2. So the whole series revolves around this thing called Kingdom Hearts. We don't actually know what Kingdom Hearts is, but you can think of it as like the Holy Grail or the Triforce of the series. It's a source of power, it's heaven, it's lights, etc, etc. So the main villain of the game, his name is Xehanort. He wants to basically open Kingdom Hearts, and in order to do so, he needs a special object called the Keyblade. Now, to be clear, most major characters in the series have a Keyblade, but the one that Xehanort wants is specifically designed to open Kingdom Hearts.
The Keyblade needs to be forged, and with it the door to the Keyblade War unlocked.
According to the main villain, forging the Keyblade requires a war to happen between people who represent light and people who represent darkness. So he makes this very lengthy plan to ensure that basically all the pieces fall into place and that this war will definitely happen in the future. So this is where Sora basically comes in, right? He's the main protagonist of the series alongside with his friends Riku and Kairi, and his adventure begins when his world basically gets destroyed by Xehanort, and he gets separated from his friends. To make a long story short, Sora gets a Keyblade and he goes on an adventure to find both Riku as well as Kairi. He goes to different Disney worlds, talks to different Disney characters, and basically just goes around and helps other people in hopes of finding both of his friends. This was the main focus of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2.
I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
So by the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora does eventually get to reunite with his friends, but he also finds out that there's others who went on a similar journey that he did, but they didn't get their happily ever after because of Xehanort. The stories of each of these characters, as well as how they are connected to Sora, does become the main focus of most of the side games, and they all eventually end up becoming pieces that Xehanort needs in order to jumpstart his war. And so Kingdom Hearts 3 ends up becoming about saving these people, as well as putting a stop to Xehanort's plans.
Let us finish this at the fated place, once your lights and my darknesses have joined together.
Now, obviously, Sora does eventually end up winning the war. However, it kind of comes with a price. You see, in order to win the war, Sora was kind of forced to use one of the powers that he learned on his journey, but he did so in an incorrect manner. And so, at the end of the game, he ends up vanishing from this reality.
The power of waking is meant to be used to wake and restore sleeping hearts, not to restore them after they've completely faded away from existence. You've done that 6 times before, and as a result, you've managed to greatly alter the course of history itself. You've broken a nature taboo.
Yeah, so that's it. That's Kingdom Hearts summarized, and that's where we're at in the game. Without going into too much detail, we do have enough clues as to what the next game is going to be about. It's pretty easy considering that the next big game is usually teased by like the secret boss or like the secret ending of the last main game, but those are details for like another time. I think the most difficult part about this video was keeping it over the 2-minute mark, purely because Kingdom Hearts' plot is simple enough where I can summarize it. If I wanted to summarize it in like 2 minutes or like 20 seconds, I can, but I needed to give enough details to actually make it sound more interesting. Besides, evil guy wants power, a good guy needs to stop him. Boom, that's the entirety of Kingdom Hearts. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time.
Commander.
Impressive, is it not?
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real? Or not? None of this makes sense to me.